All right, today we're diving into what is, without a doubt, one of the most baffling and frustrating missing person cases of the 21st century. And you know what? The whole thing hinges on this one piece of video evidence that turned out to be the ultimate paradox. I mean, it should have been the key to everything, but instead it's been this cruel joke that's held the entire investigation captive for almost 20 years. So let's unpack it. This is the story of that impossible clue, the mystery it spawned, and, most importantly, the young woman at the heart of it all. Okay, so let's set the scene. We're going back to Orlando, Florida, January 2006. On the evening of January 23rd, Jennifer Kesse is on the phone with her boyfriend. Just a normal night. But by noon the very next day, someone, and we still don't know who, is caught on camera parking her car. 2 days after that, her car is finally found, and just like that, a mystery begins that will stretch on for years and years. And this is where it gets absolutely wild. There's surveillance footage of the person who parked her car, right? This should be the smoking gun. But in what has to be the most unbelievable one-in-a-million coincidence, a fence post perfectly, and I mean perfectly, blocks their face in every single frame of the video. It's this bizarre visual block that gave the suspect their infamous name, the person without a face. And listen, they threw everything they had at this footage. We're talking the FBI, they even sent it to NASA. And after all that brainpower, all that technology, the only thing they could pull from it was a height estimate. That's it. A height range. Nothing else. So you can just imagine the frustration, right? It left investigators with this one maddening question. How on earth do you find someone whose identity is hidden right there, in plain sight? Their best piece of evidence, the thing that should have solved the case, had turned into their biggest, most frustrating dead end. But you know, behind the mystery, there's a person. To really get a grip on what was lost, we need to understand who Jennifer Kesse was. What was her life like before it was just cut short? Jennifer, at 24 years old, was someone who had it all together. Seriously, her family said her life was perfectly laid out. She had a great job as a finance manager, she was a proud new homeowner, had just bought her own condo, and she was deeply in love with her boyfriend Rob. She was meticulous, reliable, everything was going right. Everything was on track. And that's what makes this whole thing so incredibly chilling. When police got into her condo, it looked like any other weekday morning. There was a wet towel, makeup out on the counter. All the signs pointed to her just getting ready for work. It's like she vanished into thin air, somewhere in that tiny space between locking her front door and getting to her car. So right away, the investigation hits this massive wall. It's a total paradox, really. The police have a really strong theory about who might be involved, but when it comes to actual physical evidence, there's just nothing. And this really defined the early days of the case. On one side, you have these strong circumstantial leads. See, her condo complex was still under construction, and Jennifer had mentioned to her family that some of the workers there made her feel uneasy. So naturally, police focused there. But on the other side, a total lack of forensic evidence. No DNA, no fingerprints, nothing to physically tie any of those workers to the scene. So with the official investigation pretty much stalled, Jennifer's parents, Drew and Joyce, just refused to give up. They became the driving force, honestly. They hired their own PIs, and they even ended up in a legal battle with the police department just to get their hands on the case files. They were absolutely convinced that crucial leads were being missed. And for nearly 2 decades, that's pretty much where the story stood. A heartbroken family fighting for answers against this faceless ghost. But then, very recently, something changed. A major development that could blow the case wide open. Yeah, after all those years of just silence and dead ends, modern science has finally caught up. It's giving investigators new ways to look at old evidence, and it's offering the first real, tangible hope this case has seen in a very, very long time. So what are these breakthroughs? Well, there are 2 big ones. First, new DNA evidence. Investigators have managed to pull new DNA profiles from items found at the scene way back in 2006. And second, and this is incredible, they're using artificial intelligence to reanalyze that infamous video. The AI can pick up on and enhance tiny details that were invisible to the human eye, like the shape of the suspect's ear or the way they walk. And the result? It's been a total game changer. The family's lead investigator now says that thanks to this new tech, the huge list of potential suspects has been whittled down to just a few people. I mean, from a massive pool to just a handful. That's huge.
So, all of this new hope brings us right back to the one question that has haunted this case for 18 long years.
When you think about it, this whole case is this fascinating battle of patience versus technology, right? You have a simple, random piece of wood, a fence post, that created this perfect analog shield for a potential killer. And now, almost 2 decades later, powerful digital tools are finally trying to smash through that shield.
And that's the ultimate question we're left with, isn't it? Will technology finally be the thing that gives the person without a face a name? Will these new tools finally solve the mystery that a grainy 3-second video clip started all those years ago? And maybe, just maybe, bring some answers to a family that so desperately deserves them.